Welcome to Chaos Season, another week of Chaos Season. We are starting off against the Nagi team here, and
I will deliver.
man, this is going to be pretty straightforward, I think. Usually the matches in Chaos Season are a little bit faster in terms of just clearing the maps, because I don't know if it's because it's less units, or I don't know, but it always feels faster for whatever. I think it's probably because I don't have to bring any mythics, and every unit on the team actually contributes to the clear in some way or another. Maybe not, I don't know. But for this one, it is a bit tricky because of the trap placements, but I think once we're able to get through the first turn, everything else should be clearable, or I should be able to figure out the rest. Apparently Winter Edelgard is bonus, which I was not aware of. I didn't realize that she was a bonus unit because she's fallen off so hard that you don't even consider her a meta threat anymore. And really, I think that's probably down to, well, I'd say Shield Fighter, but the same could have been said as it relates to her attacking into Hardy Fighter. So not a lot of change there. Although what I will say is that the recent banners have given us a lot of Shield Fighter, Hardy Fighter into the meta, which was not something that was present before. So, and even that Hall of Forms with Brave Edelgard, a lot of people picked up that Forma Soul. So, Hardy Fighter, Shield Fighter. I think at this point, everyone, or at least most people playing Ather raids, I want to say, should at least have one copy of something that has that skill equipped. Not even to consider, like, recent banners like the Furon banner and the banner that's going on right now with Full Mortis. Shield Fighter, Hardy Fighter, pretty much everywhere at this point, which was not the case, I want to say, up until Fjorm. I want to say up until then, it wasn't even the case. No one really had Shield Fighter, not Shield Fighter, Hardy Fighter on their units, and it's really just kind of slowly making a resurgence because of how powerful Shield Fighter plus the Marthring is. Don't discredit Hardy Fighter, but really, because it's on defense, you really want to go the Shield Fighter route. But Hardy Fighter is still really strong. But yeah, a lot of Shield Fighter around, and it's really difficult to get through the units that have that equipped. You're not going to be doing your conventional Gale Force clears on teams like that because, well, looking at Edelgard in a situation like that, there's no way you're going to get her. Well, I want to say there's no way that you're going to get her to quad, but I'm sure there's someone who will pick up that challenge. But it's really tough breaking through a defense that has near save Shield Fighter and far save Shield Fighter. And I mean, there's only one Marthring, but there are units that can actually make it work, like looking at Gatry. He can make it work really, really well and actually slow you down considerably. So it's a thing. That's where we are right now, and I don't know how things will continue to evolve from here in terms of just being able to bypass that particular armored archetype. There is benefit, or what do I want to say, consideration to be given to the fact that they just don't do damage. So a lot of times you're attacking into these units and you're surviving. So that's great. So, there's always potential for the defense to fall apart because of hit and run. But, depending on your skill at that particular, gameplay style, you might end up losing a unit, may or may not. Let's see how that pans out for you. But they're going to have to give us something at some point to counter all of the Hardy Fighter, Shield Fighter stuff that we're currently experiencing in the meta. Don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to have to be good. That much I know. Actually, I can probably posit that it might be more of the Lucia effect. But let's see what happens there. Okay, here's our second game of the day. We're just gonna throw Sita at this because she has no counter disrupt, and that's probably the best way to play against this particular team. It's a capture ball, and And I think I've been saying it for a while now. I think outside of summoner duels, catcher balls don't really have a lot of relevance. Is that the correct statement? I would not recommend running a catcher ball outside of summoner duels because catcher herself is not a good enough unit. Not a threatening unit. She needs a refine, she needs a lot to at least survivability. The fact that she just dies in one hit is a massive problem. This is a beautiful catcher here. Very, very well invested. Valentian catcher. One of the few units that I don't have. Or did I? No, I actually have her. I just don't have her invested.
As you say.
But anyways, we're gonna
guide me.
Use Fjorm here.
I understand.
To first tank the far save or the ranged attackers, and then Sita to take care of the rest. This team is very synergistic. Well, really, just having Fjorm as the far save makes the team a lot easier to utilize. It's really interesting that this team, I haven't changed it, and it just keeps working. But it's probably because it's been like, what's this version? From whatever version Gatekeeper is up until now with Freyr. I don't know. It covers a lot of bases, and we haven't gone back to version 1 in a while. I'm surprised that they went immediately to version 8. I thought they would reset 1 before going all the way back to 8, but yeah, it feels pretty recent to be going to version 8 already, but I guess that's the power level needed to combat the units that are going to be bonus this week, which is pretty much all of the units. Or is that next week? I forget. Is it this week? I don't know, but all of the units are going to be bonus at some point within the next 2 weeks. For Mortis, Hector, well, those are the ones. Shez, those are the ones like come immediately to mind. They're all going to be bonus within the next couple of weeks. I'm not sure why they did that. Like, it didn't seem, or it doesn't seem necessary, unless we're going to get an extra banner somewhere in the mix that will cancel it out, or maybe they don't want to have these units roll over into the new year being bonus units. Maybe they don't want that, but typically they spread that out across like 2 to 3 weeks, just to give you time to test out the units, use the units. I don't know what the case is, but it's interesting that they're allowing all of these units to be bonus at the same time, particularly because a lot of them are armored and really just tanky units. I'm interested in terms of what that means for what's going to be coming on the emblem banner and the banner after that, which is the New Year's banner, which I've been told. I was anticipating like maybe they'd go like a second
Where to today?
Christmas banner, Christmas 2 for whatever reason, but that doesn't seem to be the case. It's going to be the New Year's banner, which it seems pretty early. It looks like the end of December there, or maybe I just looked at the schedule wrong. I don't know, but yeah, very peculiar. I haven't seen this many units be bonus at the same time. It's not that they didn't have, units. They always fill those slots with units that are just like fodder, or Grand Hero Battle units, things like that. So it's interesting to see them put Hector, Formortis, Shez, Hortensia, Alir as well. All of them are bonus, or going to be bonus in the weeks upcoming. Which means that the emblem unit is probably going to be really nuts if they think that we need that much, or, well, the last one would have been bonus around that time, which would have been the Formortis banner, so it probably wouldn't change anything there. But I'm interested to see how Hector performs with the bonus stats. Honestly, I'm not really impressed with him. I feel like I've said that before. He dies to the main threats, which is Bernadetta, pretty easily or consistently at this point. And then also, depending on your support, you can get Shez to take him out as well. So, not that great, but let's see how he performs with the bonus stats. So he kind of needs Shield Fighter more than the other armored units that we've recently gotten. Hector really needs that Shield Fighter. I think he's probably best as, let's say, a melee Omni tank, but I don't see how he'd really perform well in that role without Shield Fighter, because he needs that flat DR. So especially in the matchup against, what's that guy's name again? Sigurd. He really needs it for that matchup. So yeah. But for Mortis, well, I guess the same could be said for Mortis and Neathogger. Hopefully, man, I'm really glad that they gave us mythics or OCs with names that we can actually pronounce, because my God, I've just been so tired of having my tongue tied trying to say Hethvelga. That's probably not how you say it, or if Jimbro, and then Neathogger. Man, it's just been such a pain. So I'm glad that we got Boulder and Holder. It's pretty easy. Yeah, thank you. So let's see what pans out from there. Also, I didn't really speak much on the new OCs. They look pretty cool. Rune, I think I've said it, I think he's one of the best colorless nukes that we've gotten in a long time. Especially if he's able to quad, he does fantastic work. He actually doesn't even need to quad to take off Fjorm. He can get it done in 2 hits if he survives. But yeah, he's one of the strongest colorless nukes since, I want to say,
Guide me.
what's his name again? On the tip of my tongue. Arvel. Yeah, since Arvel. And it's a good thing, because we needed a Shira type unit for light season. I don't think we had who did we have? We had Uller as the range nuke for light season, and she just, I mean, at this point with all the shield fighter going around, she's kind of showing her age. And I don't think she will, she's probably going to need a new weapon at some point, which is unfortunate. I don't know, it's in her B slot that she has the potent, right? Or is it in her weapon? I can't remember, but units are just getting tankier, and I don't think she's going to be able to continue to put out the amount of damage that's needed to get past things like shield fighter. But that being said, I'm interested to see how the what do you want to call them? The like whenever I look at which one is it? Holder, or the one that has the red and blue, no, the white and red color palette. I keep thinking of
they will know cold.
That one character from One Piece.
I'll get it.
Kaido's daughter. I can't remember her name right now.
This'll be fun.
But yeah, every time I look at her, that's the image that comes to my mind. She looks exactly like her, barring probably the wings. But I'm interested to see their designs and what happens when they get implemented on defense with the summoning circle. I think that's going to be something pretty interesting for people who aren't able to clear defenses on turn 1, and it requires time for you to work through those defenses. I don't know, like maybe that's the reason why we're getting this many tank units to help us out in those situations, but let's see what the future holds, man. First match for the week done. GG's.